Hey everyone, Josh here with another close-up look at a Star Wars toy. And today we're going to unbox Chewbacca and C-3PO from the Black Series line. And of course, this is their appearance from The Empire Strikes Back. But before we unbox these guys and get them out of there, I just real quick want to take a look at the packaging and show you guys what's going on here. And so this is one of the ones you would call an store exclusive, and it was an Amazon store exclusive. And then, of course, we have the character description on the back here, and I'll go ahead and read that for you guys real quick. Chewbacca and C-3PO. Encountering a stormtrooper in Cloud City, C-3PO was blasted at point-blank range, and his limbs were scattered. Chewbacca gathered the parts of the protocol droid and partially reassembled him. Alright, so of course they're describing The Empire Strikes Back there, and the whole bit where C-3PO was blown to pieces and Chewbacca kind of carried him on his back in a net bag, which to me was one of the greatest little, I don't know, gags. It was kind of a gag thing in The Empire Strikes Back. It was well done. It was well played off. But here you can see what we got. Whoa! 3PO's already coming out of there. But he comes, obviously, with the net bag, as you can see, in the busted limbs. And then, of course, we have the replacement limbs. And then, of course, Chewbacca. But let's pop all these guys out of here and get a look at how they work and interact and all that stuff. But wow, these things are in there really deep. So I was kind of wondering, they're kind of hidden in there behind 3PO, if they actually were going to have parts that were interchangeable and you can actually put them back together, but it looks that way. But all right, let's get a close-up look at Chewbacca here, and that is, he's just taller than those figures, so he's not framing up the way I normally have Black Series figured up. But yeah, you can see there's a very nice sculpt of Chewbacca, and of course he's probably one of the easier characters for them to sculpt because of his just a costumed character. But let's real quick, since we're holding Chewbacca, and yes, he's a very large figure, he's bigger than your standard Black Series. Let's run through his articulation real quick and see what we get. And on the head, very little movement, little back and forth, little bit of up and down. Coming down to his shoulder here, you should have full rotation and up and down. Then going down to his elbow here, you should have a rotation. Very nice. And then looking at his hand sculpts here, you should have a rotation and a little bit of back and forth. And you can see the extra hair or fur they put around his wrist there, kind of restricting the back and forth a little bit. And then I like to look at the hand sculpts on these characters, and yeah, it looks like both of them have trigger fingers out. This one is clearly out in the open a little more, and this one you can see it's kind of like covered with hair, but he does have the trigger finger out on both hands. And then going down to his body here, you have a little bit of back and forth rotation, but it's a little bit stiff, so I wouldn't force it. You might kind of pop the joint out, but yeah, it feels like it's on a ball joint. So, and then, yep, of course, the other thing I like to check, and the easiest way it seems like it's going to get it, is his bandolier does come off, and they actually even put a little cutout for it on the fur there, which I like that. So it kind of like holds it in place. The bag does not open or do anything that I can see. And then going down here to his legs, you should have back and forth, which we do. And then you've got a rotation up here on his upper thigh. And then down here you got the knee bend and rotation. Very cool. And then they may have done that because there's almost zero articulation on his feet here. And again, it's just because of the fur sculpt. If you see, it's kind of going all the way down around his ankle and everything. It looks good, but it's restricting the movement of the joint a little bit. So then they gave you knee rotation instead, which I'll take it. It's a good good compromise. But there we go. That is your Chewbacca, and yeah, I'm really liking that face sculpt. Very accurate. Okay, so then from there we have, oh, you know what I'm just noticing? They didn't give him the crossbow. Okay, so, but from there we have 3PO with the bag, of course. So let's see how this works. So, oh, very interesting. Okay, so the net bag is kind of simple. It's just a bag with a little tiny elastic strap in it. So I guess you kind of make that up as you go. But let's pop 3PO out of here and see what we got here. And just on his head here, you should have up and down, a full rotation. And yeah, it's kind of got a little bit of restricted head movement just because you can feel his chin hitting the bottom of the little collar he wears there. And then so, okay, just looking at the wire pieces, man, this is kind of crazy. They have a little bit of flex to them. You can kind of see the wires are rubbery. And I'm just trying to get an idea of how you change the limbs out. And so there you go. Just kind of popped out on me. You just started rotating the wire pieces and it just kind of popped out. And let's go ahead and get the other one out since we're doing it. And then I'm going to assume it's something very similar for his lower legs. And okay, so it's just like a little sleeve that slides over the peg for the leg. And I'm just trying to look and see if there's a difference between left and right. I want to put them in different spots so I can remember. Okay, and then going down here, let's see. Let's just go ahead and put his arms back in. It's kind of, but yeah, you can see like just a little peg. Let's see here how this goes. Normally you can feel a little like clicking or, yeah, it's a little bit stiff, but it went in there. Normally you can hear the peg like seat or click into position there. But that feels pretty good. Okay, let's do the other arm here. And let's see here. I'm already looking, and they got his hand turned backwards, so you're going to have to kind of force it in there. Okay, I kind of felt that one seat, but yeah, it's a little bit stiff. Let's see here. There we go. I could feel it, hear it click that time, but okay. I'm sorry, guys. I'm getting this guy out of frame a little bit. I'm just trying to get the arms in a position where they seem to move naturally. I'm not really getting that with his right arm here. It just every time I try to move it, it just pops out. So, okay. Oops. Bumping the camera. All right. What I'm wondering is, I'm trying to see if these like shoulder pieces here rotate, which on this one it feels like they do, and this one it is not rotating on me here. There we go. I could feel it pop loose. Okay, so just fair warning, you get this guy, he's going to be a little bit stiff in the joints because you're kind of assembling the figure for the first time. So that's what's going on here. But just, you can see they got there's just a big hole in his leg here, and then you just line that up with the pin, and hopefully this goes better. Yeah, he's a little bit, oh, okay. I don't know if you guys heard it, but it popped into position there. A lot of times if you're putting these figures that have to be assembled like this together, it's good if you hear like it click into position. And he is really stiff. I'm like, okay. I didn't hear it like click into position, but it looks like it's in there good. But there you go. There is some assembly required and fully assembled 3PO put together properly. Okay, he's just, yeah, it's like you're building the figure from the factory a little bit, and I'm trying to get a feel for how all the parts work. Okay, so After we do his head articulation, let's go down to his shoulder here. And you have full rotation, and you can see where the articulation point is here at his shoulder. And then you also have a rotation here in his upper arm. And the little part that you actually plug in doesn't have that much articulation to it. It had a up and down movement, but you can see you don't get a lot. Okay, and then moving from there, which is cool. One of the cool things they do, some of the protocol droids, you have this little sliding bar on their arms, and some of the droids, they actually put it in and it's functional, and you can see on this one it is. You can see the bar actually slides. There's not a lot of movement in it, but you can actually, as I move the arm, you can see the bar slide there. Okay, and then down to his wrist, you have full rotation and back and forth, and very detailed hand sculpts for a 3PO. They look really good. You can actually see all the parts on his fingers and in the palm of his hand. And then going down from there, you should have a little bit of back and forth on his body, a little bit of rotation, not much, and they hid the articulation underneath his plate there, his little plate armor. Okay, so wow. So he actually has a little more. And yeah, again, this guy is really stiff. So, and then going down to the legs here, you got back and forth, but it's very restricted due to the leg is hitting the back of his body or armor there. I don't know if it's really armor for 3PO, just his plating, I guess. And then going up there, that's all your back and forth movement. Then you have knee back and forth. Oh, you can actually hyperextend his knee. Okay. And what's interesting to me is they have the little pins. And on this one, okay, so they have these little pins on his leg here. And they actually have movement on them too. So when you're moving the leg back and forth, the pin actually moves with it, but then it's actually movable on its own as well. So there you go. And then after his knee down to his foot, you have back and forth, and you should have full rotation there. Very good. All right. Let's see. Well, another real quick little test. I want to get 3PO here just because he's assembled after we took him out of the package here. Just want to see how well does 3PO stand on his own. All right, very good, very cool. So he will stand on his own. And then the last thing we have here is the blaster for Chewbacca. And you can see it's just an Imperial blaster, and they actually put paint on it for where the shells eject, I guess. And I'm trying to see if the folding stock comes out, and it does not. So what I want to do is see how well he interacts with this thing, and wow, yeah, this thing is like little to him. So, but you can see you do have trigger finger engagement there, so that looks really well. He's got a really good grip on it. He's not letting go, and then it comes right out. Very cool. And then just to be thorough, I want to kind of see, will it fit in his other hand? And yes, it does, but you don't get the trigger finger engagement because the one on his left hand doesn't seem to stick out quite as far as the other one, but very cool. All right. Now what I want to kind of see if we can figure out here is, can we put the whole assembly of the backpack on him and everything, and instead of you guys sitting here watching me fiddle with the parts for 5 minutes, I'm going to go ahead and do this off camera, and we'll bring it back and see how it looks. Okay guys, so I got it all assembled, and one of the things that was kind of a little bit interesting here as I was working with it off camera was I kind of wanted to go through the box to double check, and they actually did put instructions in here with it. So it's just a one sheet, and it's just shows the figures, and you can see how they're showing you the size difference as well. And then on the back, it just shows you how to disassemble, reassemble 3PO, And then it's showing you, of course, you put the pieces in the bag. And the only real kind of instruction it shows you how to assemble it is it shows you to put there's a little elastic strap around the edge of the bag, and you just kind of sling that over Chewbacca's shoulder. And from what I could tell from the drawing, it's the same shoulder his ammo belt is on. So I kind of just tried to recreate that with the figure. And there was a little bit of fiddling, and the way the bag is built is it has like multiple holes in it, so you can kind of have the parts poking out a little bit. And I'll be honest with you, it was a little bit frustrating because you have so many little things and wires sticking out and little bars that stick out from 3PO and all his limbs, so it was a little bit tricky getting it into the net bag, and it was a little bit, it caught on the net a lot. But you can see it's just a little elastic strap that goes over Chewbacca's shoulder. That part was easy, but getting all the parts in there in the net bag so he looks like he did in the movie, it was a little bit tricky. But yeah, it is doable. And one of the other problems I kind of ran into a little bit was getting 3PO disassembled was pretty difficult. Once you get those legs in there, they did not want to come out, and it was the same thing with the arms. And then putting the broken pieces back in, the parts that are supposed to look broken, they went in really easy. So once I assemble them again, I'll tell you how that goes for you guys. Because I want to put them back together. I got to take a couple pictures of them for the thumbnail and stuff like that. So we'll see how that goes. But that's what he looks like. And then, of course, one of the things I want to check to be thorough is, well, there he goes. He's doing it already. But just, will Chewbacca, with this another figure basically strapped to his back, will he stand? And yeah, I'm not even putting any effort into it. Chewbacca has these really big feet, so it works really well. He doesn't feel like he's going to tip over or anything, so I'm really impressed by that. But yeah, I'm liking this figure. It's very good. All right. But there you go, guys. There you have it from the Black Series line, an Amazon exclusive. This is Chewbacca and C-3PO with blaster damage, and of course the net bag from the Black Series collection. All right, guys, thanks for watching. I hope you're enjoying the videos, and if you are, please like the videos and give us a subscribe. It really helps us out here, and we'll talk to you guys later. Bye.